Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Perfecting Your Band Sales. This is volume 11, and today, instead of talking to an individual producer, we have the entire marketing team and get a little bit of a more of an inside look on how things work and what they do. We'll have everyone introduce themselves one at a time and give us a little brief history of how long you've been involved and what your role is.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ines. I'm in IML since 2016. Right now, my role is in digital marketing. So I handle everything related to digital advertising channels, specifically the paid channels. So everything related to Facebook ads or Google ads or email marketing campaigns. That's what I kind of like do all day. Try to make sure that we are reaching the brides that are looking for bands and make sure that they land in our website and make an inquiry. So that's my main focus. And also a lot of analytics on, so we all can kind of like understand that process of where they're coming from and how to make sure that every channel is optimized so we get as many brides as we can.
I'm Margaret, and I'm the marketing director, so I manage all things related to directories like the Knot and Wedding Wire and print ads. I also manage the budget and work closely with email marketing and with the social media team on strategy. With the team, we all kind of work together on strategy in general, and I write the copy for basically any major marketing platform or campaign that we have, like the websites, digital ads, directories, etc.
I'm Alfonso. I'm from Uruguay, the same as Ines. We know each other from college. And I started in IML in, I think, August 2017. I do mostly visual things, anything that's content related, photo shoots, video shoots, website, a little bit of everything on that end. And also trying to translate the vision of what the company or the bands are into tangible things so that our clients can get the vibe of what we want to transmit to them.
I'm Liz. I've been with IML since 2017. I'd say I'm a content strategist. I work a lot with social media, especially with both of the Alexes. So kind of keeping all the social media profiles alive on all of the websites like Facebook, Instagram, all of those. I've also been working on the Simple stage recently since we've all been in quarantine. So I've been coordinating all of those with all the bands and the musicians. I also coordinate expos, which obviously has been on pause right now. And I've been helping out with some email marketing recently.
I'm Alex, one of the Alexes. Whoops. I'm a graphic designer, and I design and manage brand graphics across the channels like social media, stuff like Instagram and YouTube, as well as like day-to-day miscellaneous marketing materials and like promotional graphics and animation stuff. So yeah, like Liz was saying, I work with her and Alex on like content strategy and kind of making sure that everything looks cohesive and polished at the end of the day.
I'm also Alex. I am a content strategist as well. I've been with IML for a little over a year now. I help manage with all those media platforms, and I coordinate with Alex with the graphics and Liz with most of the media. And I have also been managing the blogs that we are planning to launch sometime in the very near future. Yeah.
Well, thank you for introducing yourselves. When inquiries come in or when I get one in my inbox, I know that there are a lot of things that have to happen, obviously, for that to be directed towards me. I've heard a little bit of a description of that. I'm curious as to how you guys collaborate to kind of put everything together, what you are currently working on right now, and what strategies you would be working on if we were in full operating mode right now. Because I know there were some exciting things kind of being rolled out little by little, and I wonder what else was in store or what kinds of things you're hoping to get back to. That's kind of a lot of questions, but we can go through it all.
I guess from a very practical point of view. As for team management and coordination or project management, we are using like a couple of platforms that help us be in like constant communication on a daily basis. So we're all of us are on the same time. So that's not really an issue. And then we have a project management tool that allows us to, you know, we all have a view of what's going on a detail scale, you know, for per tasks, I'd say, and also per projects on a larger scale for planning or strategy. That's the way we're keeping everything on track while not being at the office, I guess. And it's working so far.
The other questions were like, how do we collaborate? Yeah, so basically we kind of like brainstorm on things and like messages or ads that we can make, or the blog posts, or like social media content or stuff like that, and like how we think we can attract brides and grooms that are looking for bands. And then each of us kind of like goes back to their own areas. Alex does the graphics for an ad, and then Alfonso takes care of like how the websites are looking and how many videos we have and all the content. And then the girls are posting on social media, and then Margaret is looking after all the information, the directories that we're on, and then I'm looking after like if the ads are running, if they are working, like which ads are working. And we're all kind of like aligned on concepts and messages that we're sending out, but then each of us is applying that to their own tasks.
Yeah, so a lot of team brainstorming and, you know, making sure that we have a cohesive message and a cohesive look to everything, and, you know, that copy is consistent across the board, whether it's on social media or ads or directories. And right now it's obviously a different situation than the experience people normally have when planning their wedding. So, you know, shifting the focus on, you know, what people are looking for right now. We'll come up with certain specials like the flexible dates or add-ons to help those people make the decision a little bit easier for actually finalizing their bookings.
Are there any particular things you think a producer should know about sort of what goes into your work and what you think they might not be aware of?
If you think of producers as the sales department and marketing as, I guess, well, the marketing department, the inquiries that you get on your email have a lot of work behind them. If you have like the inquiry coming into your email and you responding to that email, and then, you know, having like a back and forth with them, that itself is just like a small part, and there's like a huge chunk of work that comes before that.
Every couple or client has a different journey getting there. We call it the customer journey, whether they come through digital ads or directories or social media. You know, there are a number of touch points where people want to see and research the band before they're actually going to make a decision. And once they've made that inquiry, they've probably seen us on a number of other platforms or you know, in a number of other places, or received emails from the marketing team before they even make that inquiry. There is this huge chunk of time that goes into just research, and that's kind of where we come in, is making sure that they find us when they're doing their research for bands, and that it's, you know, enticing and you know, to make sure that we really highlight all the great points about the band and get those inquiries to you guys. So, you know, I guess that would be the big thing, is like those inquiries aren't just falling into your lap. I mean, there is some of it's word of mouth that comes from the amazing job that the bands do on gigs, and that's really important as well. But there is a lot of team effort and work that goes into getting those inquiries into your inbox. So, you know, not to take them for granted or think that that they just happened to make an inquiry and aren't serious about it. So there should be some effort that goes into trying to make that sale, because those people are already have made it through 80% of the journey already.
Right.
Think about it like you want to buy like a pair of jeans, and you're like researching which is the best brand, and you go and check out like in the mall, and like you try and all that. Well, that's kind of like the same journey for someone who is looking for a wedding vendor. So we need to make sure that the websites look great when the people land there, which is like a lot of work. The videos and like the images look great, and like if the person goes to an Instagram profile, it looks great because those people are not just looking at us; they are looking to like all the other wedding bands that are out there in the market, and we also compete with all the other wedding vendors on like ads and like everything. So yeah, it's like a lot of work to make sure that we show up in their search, in their research. Like we need to make sure that when they are doing their research, they find us, and when they find us, like all our profiles in every single channel looks amazing, so we win the bid. Like we are the best gene that they want to buy. We're making sure that everyone who is researching for wedding vendors and especially for wedding bands find us first, or even if they are looking into like 5 options, they choose us because we have the best videos, because we have the best website, because we have the best reviews, because we have the best showcase or virtual showcase, and putting all that together to have like good content and a good message out there is like a lot of work individually and as a group for all of us.
There was mention about the rolling out of some kind of a blog. What does that entail?
Yeah, that's something Alex has been working on. Alex, do you want to talk about the blog a little bit?
So we decided to launch these blogs just to give more of a kind of personable experience for clients who are on our website that want to book with the band. They can see that we're writing things from like the band's perspectives, and I feel like it just helps make a more, again, like personal experience when they come on there and see it. We're going to be writing about top songs and ceremony songs, how we've been dealing with what's going on right now. We have a bunch of other ideas like lined up, and I really think it'll help the band, like you know, people feeling like, oh, this is cool, like they're writing these things from their experiences in the field that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps for research as well, for, you know, people who are looking, you know, searching for certain things, and that, you know, we can have that content on our page, and also help them make that decision by providing tips and, you know, advice that is helpful as well while they're wedding planning.
Exactly.
It also will kind of help with a stamp of approval for all the bands. We're featured in the Knot and Wedding Wire and other platforms that are pretty significant in the wedding planning world. So it's kind of going to be a place where we can put all of that in one place. Mm-hmm. And then it'll give us more attention and kind of connect with other vendors and other platforms that we've been working with for so long.
I have a recent memory of a wedding planner that I'd never worked with before. When I finally did get to work with her, she had commented on how impressed she was with how the social media advertising works, because, you know, she didn't have to do very much for all of a sudden the band information popping up everywhere that she frequents. And she was impressed by the fact that, you know, hey, all I did was, you know, get an email and send an email. All of a sudden my social media is full of, you know, advertisements for your band. I'm sort of semi-aware of how that's done, but I'm curious about how that is actually done, how social media gets targeting. Yeah. What's that?
It's magic.
It's magic?
Yeah.
Magic.
Well, in a few words, like each inquiry has a price tag to it. There's a lot of investment. There's our time, there's research, but there is money put into getting an inquiry.
How do the social media platforms work then in terms of that presence being instant?
Well, it's just how, yeah, like each platform offers like different possibilities to target brides. So what we do is like understand how the platform works and then make sure that the strategy that we're using applies for the platform and allow us to reach to the target that we want to reach. A lot of that is how like advertising works nowadays, and how like all these social platforms work. But as Alfonso said, a lot of that is paid advertising. So those inquiries are very valuable, and those inquiries have a lot of strategy. The content that we put out there, the videos, the images, the copy. If we have a quality website, then we'll have more inquiries. So it's just like a lot of pieces that work together and complement each other in order to do that.
What are some strategies that you're implementing for some future goals? I mean, I know that the Simple Stage series is good because it kind of keeps the brand relevant, obviously, and kind of allows the presence to continue. Are there any sort of general goals or things that you're all hoping to see roll out or would like to see happen?
For me, I'm looking forward to shooting videos. Like getting more video content for all of the bands has been really important, and we were about to get that going right now, actually, but we can't. So I'm looking forward to getting back into organizing those.
Liz is leading the Simple Stage. I guess it started as a response to a particular situation and trying to create a platform where we could still have stuff happening while we were all isolated. There's a message behind or an intention behind the Simple Stage that transcends this particular moment, and it's that we do want to go towards building a more of a tight-knit community on the musician side. So reinforce the fact that there's people behind everything. You know, you guys have your own personal projects. You guys have a lot of stuff going on other than just playing with the bands. And because you're good musicians that you can play with really with anyone, is because this whole thing works. And trying to emphasize that and creating more of a transparent and getting people in touch within the network. That would be a great thing. It's not the only thing that we are thinking of, but the Simple Stages has a lot of that, and hopefully it can bring some other things too, and not just like the performances themselves.
Yeah. And I think interestingly, like this whole isolation situation has created a real craving for personal feel and for personal interaction. And so, you know, things like showcasing musicians and, you know, that there are real people and real talent behind these bands is exciting.
I appreciate that you guys took the time today. I wasn't sure if there was anything else you wanted to add. I know that for me, you know, just to have the opportunity to introduce you to everybody in the first place is important. And it's important enough even to just have a little bit of an idea of what you guys do, and that there are people behind the inquiries, there are people behind the emails that we get, and that people are working really hard to keep everything going. The nice irony behind the situation that we're in is that it sparked the interest in doing videos and doing interviews and actually making connections where we otherwise wouldn't have in normal times. So I think that in itself is very valuable and has been very valuable. So I really do appreciate that you would take the time. But yeah, I mean, before we kind of bring things to a close, I'd be happy to hear about anything else that you think would be good to mention.
Well, I think for you know, all the producers to hear that, you know, we are working really hard on a strategy to make sure that we come out on the other side of this, you know, in a great position. And it's obviously kind of a strange time, I think, for everyone and for thinking about event planning or wedding planning, but that's something that we're very aware of, and we're tailoring all of our marketing to this situation and with the end goal of really coming out on the other side of this stronger and making sure we fill up your calendars. So that's really the end goal. So
yeah,
it's a piece of trivia would be that I guess we're the only non-musicians in the whole company.
yeah.
And we're purposely selected in part for that reason, because it helps us to keep a little bit of distance from something that, you know, you guys may take for granted about the music, or you're in there. So as with everything, you can lose a little bit of perspective with things. So I guess part of what we have to do is to keep a distanced look. One other thing, and I hope this addresses a lot of things that may come up sometimes, but well, you can see all of us right now. It's this is the core team, marketing team. Everything that we do, we have to do it with a specific band in mind, but also always keeping in mind that there are a lot of bands out there, and we need to be able to scale whatever we do to all the other bands. So we always have to find a compromise between what would be perfectly tailored for each one of the bands or areas or even cities, and actually being able to come up with a system that can be easily reproducible across the board. So a lot of what we do, of what everyone's mentioned about strategizing and brainstorming and everything from the copy to the ad campaigns to the videos that are being shot to the photos to the graphics being created to the simple stage to the blogs, everything has a really important component of how can we make this viable across the board. And sometimes that limitation forces us to find like better solutions to things that we didn't think possible.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, creativity and constraints are related to each other, right? Sometimes the less crayons you have, the better off you are, or if you have too many crayons, that's not good, or who knows. But it's not a really good analogy, but well, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna I'll be kind of editing this down a little bit, just to be a bit shorter, but I'll try to keep everything concise and quick, and I'll hopefully this will help people to feel a little more connected. I think that's the important thing for me. A lot of producers don't really even consider what they do to be a sales job, because the system is set up in such a way that you can be successful just clicking buttons automatically and just letting everything kind of run. But everyone knows that's not enough. But just the idea that the system works as well as it does just from the outset, and that's a result of all of your work. And that's a result of a lot of time and energy and money. And it's something that should be considered every time that one of those inquiry emails pops up. It should feel like a Christmas present when you get them.
Just so they know, like, we do get pretty excited to see inquiries coming in every day. Like,
Yeah.
it really feels like Christmas for us. So I hope it feels like Christmas for them too.
That's right.
We put a lot of work
Yeah.
to get those inquiries, so we get pretty excited.
Yeah.
We do celebrations when we reach numbers. So I hope producers do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's awesome. Thank you all, and good luck. Stay safe. I'll be awaiting the day when we can all get back out there. And in the meantime, I really appreciate that you're working so hard to get us back going again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Likewise.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Jerry.
Nice to
All right,
meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you finally. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.